Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the Twin State Podcast. We're your hosts, Luke and Jackson Hershey, twins from Charlotte, North Carolina. Same face, two opinions. Guys, welcome back to this week's edition of our show. And guys, it's a great one because first week of the NFL season, we got the Carolina Panthers for us taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Big game in our household. Lots of stuff going down. So, guys, you know we're going to be just cheering on our team, and hopefully this is finally the year that Panthers can just make it to the Super Bowl. Probably not going to happen, but that's what hopes are.
Yeah, I don't want to jump ahead here, but I think we finally built a team where it could be really solid. But in my world, I'm thinking college football. Like week one, we talked about this last week. It was an awesome week, just ready to be back. I think having college football week one, with the games we had, Bama going down week one, like there as an Auburn fan as we are, there's nothing better than Alabama going down, Roll Tide going down week one. And then this week, Florida losing to USF. Like, what is going on in college football? But it's been unbelievable to watch. But a team that I think brought everyone back in our world to win the college football playoffs is Penn State. And they haven't really played anybody yet. But if you look at who they brought back just about everyone to that offense, and the defense is so strong. So they're going to be really fun to watch. They have a huge game in a couple weeks against Oregon. That's really going to start to tell what kind of team they are. But we have a really special guest, one that Jackson and I are really excited about. His name is Troy Huhn. He's one of the top commits in the entire country. He's committed to Penn State to play quarterback. And just a little bit about him. He's from California, goes to Mission Hills High School. He's one of the top quarterbacks. Actually played and got invited for Elite 11 and made the Elite 11 finals, which as a high school football player, there's really not much of a better honor you can get as a quarterback to get invited to the Elite 11 finals. Troy Huhn is doing amazing things. Mission Hills High School is looking to win a state championship this year. But out of anything, he's a really, really strong Christian, a great leader on and off the field. And we were just blessed to get to sit down with him, tell a little bit about his journey, talk about his recruitment process to Penn State, because there was a lot of teams that really wanted him. Auburn wanted him. Ohio State wanted him, but he ended up picking Penn State, and I think it's really interesting to kind of sit down and say, man, out of all the schools, why Penn State? And so we're going to jump in, talk to him a little bit about his journey. So without further ado, let's jump in. Troy Huhn, let's go.
Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the Twin State Podcast. We're your hosts, Luke and Jackson Hershey, twins from Charlotte, North Carolina. Same face, two opinions. And man, we got an awesome guest hopping on with us today. One of the top quarterbacks in the entire country, committed to none other than Penn State. We got none other than Troy Huhn. Man, thank you so much for coming on.
Of course.
Bro, first of all, we got to talk about summer ball because you committed to Penn State. I don't know, was it this summer? But I know you committed to Penn State. How's summer ball been? Are you nervous going into the final, like senior season? Has it come around quick? What's kind of the thoughts going into this upcoming year?
You said it right there. It definitely came around quick. This offseason flew by, but summer's been a blast. Just being out there with the guys, the whole entire football team. It's just there's nothing better than that. And then the 7-on-7 circuit, we played some really good teams. Almost beat Mater Dei, we beat Bosco, so played some really, really solid teams. And then so it's just been really excited, but I'm excited for tomorrow. We get the helmets on and just real football begins, so it's going to be fun.
Dude, that's crazy. Mater Dei and you beat Bosco. That's insane. What were those games like? Were they really intense?
It was definitely really intense. I mean, the teams like Mater Dei has some unreal speed. So just being able to like play against that and know that we can compete with them. It's obviously not real football. It's 7-on-7, but just being able to compete with them and that was really, really special and cool.
Dude, it obviously looks like y'all are going to have an incredible season. We kind of want to start it from the beginning there for you. When did you really get into football?
So I started playing football, I think it was like 5th grade, but it was more – so I played flag my whole life, but I started playing football in 5th grade. I played O-line all the way up till 8th grade, and then freshman year I started playing quarterback. And freshman year, I live in Carlsbad. Instead of going to Carlsbad, I went to Mission Hills and San Marcos. And so I played JV ball my freshman year and the start of my sophomore year, and that's kind of just kept on rolling.
Dude, how tough of an adjustment was it to go from offensive line to quarterback? I mean, I can't imagine that was easy.
I was obviously a bigger kid, and so I think in 8th grade I was already like 6'2", 6'3", and so I kind of just got stuck on the O line because I was a bigger
Right.
kid. And in 8th grade I wanted to play quarterback, never got the chance. I played tight end, and then going into the freshman year, like I want to play football, I want to play quarterback, and I just kept on working and working and working. And my uncle really got me into it, and so I just was like, I after that freshman year, offers started rolling, and I was like, I could be a college quarterback.
Bro, that's awesome. Was that actually? I want to go back. So you said you played football coming up. Did you play any other sports besides football growing up? I know you played flag, but was there kind of anything else you were
It
doing growing
was
up?
so when I was growing up, it was always basketball. I loved basketball.
That's cool.
Dreams of being in the NBA that obviously shattered, and then it turned into like in middle school, I loved baseball, and I was like all baseball, and I was just playing like football as kind of a side sport at this time.
Yeah.
And then like when I kind of switched schools to go play football, I was like, I gotta focus on football, and I just love it. So it's no sport like it.
Dude, I feel like every kid's dream that watches sports. I mean, I vividly remember the day like me and Jackson were like, man, the dream is to go play either in the NFL or in the NBA. And you hit middle school, and it's like I vividly remember the day my parents looking at Jackson going, yeah, dude, you're not gonna play in the NBA. The dreams are just crushed.
If you love sports, obviously, then everyone's that's their goal.
Dude, that's so funny. Dude, so that's sick. So you started playing at freshman year. Was the goal always to want to play in college, or was it just like, man, I'm pursuing football in high school, or was that did it just come naturally?
Growing up, it was always just like enjoy your sport. My parents never pushed me, and they still don't push me, but they hold me at a certain standard. And so just having that discipline to work hard every day here and there, like every day, every single day. And then all my siblings, they have my oldest sister is going to UTRGV for basketball, and the other one's at East Carolina for softball. So we all our whole entire family is like athletes, and so the goal is for all of us to be 4 for 4 and get college scholarships. So.
Wow. Dude, how cool is it to kind of grow up in a family where everyone's got that drive to just be really competitive?
It's super special. I mean, I love my sisters, and so I love my parents and all that. But I mean, every single day, there's always a fight of who can get in the weight room in our garage, who could be out first, and so we push each other. But it's fun times.
I was gonna say, what's like the rundown in the house? Like, what's the most competitive y'all get over? Like, do y'all get competitive over random things?
I guess a little bit of the random things, but we always have the talk of like who's the most athletic, and my younger sister and me always just fight over that, and so it's funny though.
Dude, who's the most athletic out of all of y'all?
I would have to say the softball player, and so definitely not me.
Dude, that's awesome. That's awesome. So, dude, I mean, your recruitment journey, obviously, that was really cool to watch. Did you enjoy your recruitment process, or was it kind of crazy and nerve wracking, or did you really enjoy it?
I tried to enjoy it as much as I could, but obviously it was a little like a nerve wracking and stuff like that as it got towards the end of it and schools got like cut down. But I mean, I tell everybody that goes through it right now just enjoy all of it because I mean, not everybody gets that opportunity. It's so surreal to have all these schools that you're talking to, this and that, and it's just take every single step of the journey in. And so that's what I try to do as much as possible. But towards the end, it started getting really real, and I'm glad I made the best possible decision.
Well, obviously, you made a great decision opting to go to Penn State, one of the best teams in the country this past year. What stood out to you most about them?
So, I mean, the family atmosphere and the family culture that they've built is just so special. I mean, I know that those coaches are great people, and that's all that comes first for me is having great people. And I'm not just going to be another guy that they recruit and just leave behind. Like, I'm going to be a guy that they care about, and I know that. And so they're also a school that I know that's going to develop me and get me to my dreams, which is the NFL. So I love their head coach, Coach Franklin. I love their position coach. Every single coach they're great people.
Dude, they're such a fun team to watch. Like they run the ball. They do everything. They're such a fun team to watch. What I gotta ask you, who do you remember who your first offer was and kind of what your feeling was like when you got the offer?
It was I think I know the date. It might have been like January 2nd or February 1st, one of those days, and it was Arizona State, and so it was super special, and it was awesome. So I was super excited. My family was super excited to me, and then after that, the next one was Texas A&M, and then UCF, and it kind of just kept on going from there. I think I could name all of them in order, but it'd be a little tricky.
Dude, that's impressive. So outside of football, because you love to talk to athletes about football, but what's your favorite thing to do outside of football?
So I would say right now would be golfing. I love to get
there
out
you go.
on the golf course, and so it's super fun to go out there with my friends. I love playing pickleball, and obviously when you're living in California and live like a mile from the beach, you got to surf. And so the summertime, the water's warm, the waves are good. So it's another hobby I would like to get into.
Bro, that's the one thing I've always wanted to do because we live on the lake in Charlotte, so we go wake surfing all the time.
Yeah, wake surfing is a blast. I just went on 4th of July. It was so much fun.
Bro, dude, I finally got one of my buddies, he taught me how to do a 360, and like I figured it out, and it like, dude, when you figure it out, it's like so addicting. Like that's all I want to get up there and do.
I thought it would be more similar to like real surfing, but I'm not gonna lie, it's a little different. I mean, obviously the wave is smaller, but it was hard for me to be able to like pump and like stay in the wave and stuff. But it's a lot of fun.
Which was harder to figure out?
I think surfing was hard. Surfing was definitely hard to figure out because wake surfing. I don't know if it's because I surfed, so it was easier, but it only took me like 2 or 3 times until I could stand up.
Yeah, bro. I really, that's the one thing I haven't legit gone. He's gone. That's the one thing I've like not done that I really want to do. So,
dude, surfing's fun.
Yeah, bro. That's insane.
Like you said, it's addicting once you get out there and you're just out in the water. The water's warm, and you're just catching wave after wave. It's a lot of fun.
So, dude, I love wake surfing. So are you nervous about moving to Pennsylvania with the weather difference? I mean, it's not like cold, but like like January, February. It's not like California.
It's definitely different, and it's gonna take me a little while to get adjust to it. I'll be going in like the thick of it, so in January, right when it's cold. But I know my mindset coming in was like, if I want to go to the NFL, I don't get to pick my team, and so I can be anywhere, and the weather shouldn't really play a role into that at all. So I mean, it'll take me a little bit. I'm definitely not gonna pick it up like that, but I mean, it's gonna be fun though.
So when you were going between, like when you were kind of in your like final stages of picking Penn State and Auburn and like in Ohio State and all those schools that were really pursuing you, like I think everyone looks at a commit and people that like want football players to go to their schools and say like obviously they're gonna pick X school. Like what was going in your head of deciphering which school was the best fit for you, because everyone's got the facilities and X, Y, and Z. Like what was the biggest factor of Penn State over all the other schools?
I mean, like you said, the facilities and stuff, that really didn't play a role for me because, like, the weight room weights are the same weights. It really doesn't matter. Everybody at those top schools, they're all really the same to me. And so for me, it was just that, like, family culture and the coaching staff. And, like, I think the biggest one was, like, if they love you, if they really care about you, if you're not just going to be another person. And so I think Penn State, out of all the other schools, really showed that.
Bro, playing in a whiteout is going to be insane.
That's awesome.
Dude, that's going to be crazy. So, you're going into your senior year. What are you kind of most looking forward to going into your senior year and playing with those guys?
You know, I think I'm just trying to enjoy every single moment. It doesn't last forever. This is my last high school year, and I think looking back on it, freshman year felt like yesterday. And so just trying to enjoy every single practice, every rep, every game, and then just obviously trying to win as much games, reaching my goals. And so it's going to be a blast this year.
How cool of an experience was the Elite 11 for you to kind of be surrounded by those 11 guys that are kind of all around same caliber, all really good quarterbacks from all over the country? What was that experience like for you?
It was a once-in-a-lifetime experience, and I came in with an open mind, so I was just trying to learn as much as possible because they had some of the best coaches in the country, best players, trying to build relationships that'll last me a lifetime as well. And so being out there and just like on the field stuff was obviously competition, and that was fun and stuff, but like the off the field stuff, I learned just everything that just flows into being a quarterback, and then like the media and all that. So it was a super special 3 days.
Dude, I can't even like it. I like being with all those guys. Like they're all competitors too, which I bet that was a ton of fun. Did you know all the guys coming in, or were there any guys that like you met going into Elite 11 that were like, yo, they were cool?
There were like 3 guys that I kind of knew, but the rest of them, I knew their name and I knew what they've done. I knew they're really good, but I never really met them before. And so, like, my first day when we walked in, I was nervous. And I talked to the other guys about this the day after. I was like, I was nervous I wasn't going to get along with them. And, like, we just started kicking it off right there and then. Like, I found my group, and we were just having so much fun, like, enjoying every single moment of it.
Dude, that's so sick. Yeah, I mean, there's not, and like you said, the cool thing with your story is there's not a ton of guys that get to go through that entire recruiting process in Elite 11. Like that's really cool. What was Under Armour? What was the Under Armour All American game like this? Like going into the senior year and bro, is there like when you're going into a competition or games like that, like how do you take nerves like going into something like that and turn it into like, man, I'm gonna go perform the best I can?
I just try to, like, although there's a lot of mental stuff that goes into being quarterback and just, like, a lot of breathing techniques that I like to do before games and stuff. And so just being able to focus, finding a little spot on the ground and just focusing on your breathing, relaxing you, and just knowing that it's just another game is just something I really preach on.
And man, something really cool about you, if you kind of look all over your social media, you obviously put Christ in the front and center of everything you do. How important has he been throughout your journey?
Obviously super important. I think he's the number one person in my life. And so I went to church this morning and I try to go once or twice a week. And I just know that without him, I wouldn't be where I am.
Yeah, bro, you have this Bible verse on your Instagram. I was like pulling it up, Matthew 19:26. Let's see if it takes me a second. Hold on.
Yes, sir. I got it on my bracelet here, so I always keep that.
All right, you go for it then.
And so, I mean, with God, anything is possible. And I just kind of tell myself that when I'm praying before a game, I might pray like 10 to 20 times before a game because I get really nervous sometimes, and it just helps me calm down. And so that's one of the things I do too. But I just think, like, when I have that phrase, I just know, like, when he's by my side, I could do anything, and it helps me really relax.
Yeah, I think, dude, the cool thing is, like, I mean, we've been running track and cross country too, and it's really interesting to hear your story on that too, because the biggest thing for me was, like, we came in freshman year and, like, I'd never, like, or I guess seventh, we started in seventh. I came into a brand new school and, like, we ended up, like, just blessed. We were better than I thought we'd be going into it, and they moved us to varsity in seventh grade, started running with high schoolers, and pretty quick we started running good times. And I came into the next year and I just remember starting to feel like the weight of, like, man, I have to perform. And it made me to the point of, like, I hated running, and I had to take that and turn it into, like, man, it's not about what I do, what I perform. It's truly on what, like, the taking my ability that God gave me and using it to glorify him. So I think that's really cool.
Definitely.
How big of it's especially in your journey has your faith been?
It's been huge. I mean, obviously, knowing that he's by my side every single step is just something that comforts me and allows me to just be free out there, and to really just be myself, and knowing that he's gonna be able to guide me and just giving it my all out there, and he's gonna let the rest handle itself.
I love that. Do you kind of have a goal for yourself throughout these last couple months while you're back at home before you move on to Penn State?
So my goal, obviously, like, going into this season, is to win a state championship, and it's nothing less than that. It's always been my goal, and it's always been a dream of me for winning a state championship. And I know that my coach would obviously be so happy if that happened too. So that's like a high school goal, but right now, these next couple of months before I leave, just trying to enjoy every single moment. I know I say that a lot, but I'm going to be from California to Pennsylvania, across the country, and, like, there's not going to be sunshine and rainbows every single day. So just trying to enjoy all of it.
Dude, is your family ready for you to go across the country?
I think they're ready because both my sisters they started out in the Midwest. And so the oldest one started out in Miami, Ohio, and then the other one started at Iowa State. And so they both all moved across the country. I knew I wasn't going to stay in California. And so I wanted to explore something new, but they're super excited for me. And they've been a part of my journey from day one.
Dude, that's so cool. As you're kind of, like, looking back at your journey and your story, what do you think was the biggest thing you had to overcome to get kind of where you are today?
I would say just all the noise, all the distractions. There's a lot of distractions that falls into being quarterback and being one of a top player and all that, and just being able to keep the main thing, and just know that it's just football. And I mean, just I mean, you're still a kid. You're not even in college yet. 17 years old and just living life. I mean, just trying to enjoy everything.
Brother, I love that answer. And then last question for you, as you just kind of look back on just the beginning of your journey, what's kind of your overall just favorite memory that kind of just sticks out to you?
I think the day I committed was just so special. The day I committed, the like stress level, I was like, I came, so the week before I committed, I was playing some 7-on-7 with the high school, and I was just so stressed out, and I couldn't do it. And then I committed, and the next week we had another 7-on-7. I was just like laughing with the boys, having so much fun, just like letting it all go. It was a great day, and like I just know like the stress level dropped, and so when I committed, it was just such a special moment, and I'll always remember that day.
Dude, how early before like you committed did you know you were gonna go to Penn State, and then how did you tell Coach Franklin that you were gonna go to Penn State?
Okay, so I was we were kind of doing our trips in the summer, and so I didn't really know. For the longest time, it was Texas, and then
Really?
after the Texas trip, I went over to Michigan, and then after the Michigan trip, during the Michigan trip, Brady Hart committed there, so I went down to Ohio State because obviously Michigan, Ohio State, and so
Right.
I liked Ohio State, and then that next day I went over to Penn State, and I was there for 3 days. And right when I got there, I met with Coach O'Brien, Coach Slim, Coach Franklin, all of them, and I was just like, my mom looks at me and was like, "This is home." And so I kind of like enjoyed the rest of the 3 days. Came home, talked to my high school coach, talked to my dad about it, and and I think it was the Sunday. Or that Monday, I texted Franklin. I'm like, "Is there any chance I could like hop on a Zoom call tomorrow morning at like 6 in the morning?" Because 6 in the morning was the only time I could get my whole family on it, and he kind of knew. And so I called him at 6 in the morning, woke up at 5:30, and I was ready to go. And I was like, "Coach Franklin, like, thank you for everything you gave me, and I can't wait to be an Indy line for the next 4 years of my life." And he was just completely stoked. And I gave Coach O'Brien, the quarterback coach, a call after that. And so that was I didn't really know until like I guess 4 days before it, and so it was a special moment.
So, dude, you hopped from Texas to
Michigan.
no, wait,
Ohio
yeah,
State.
Michigan, Ohio State to Penn State, and every time when you were moving schools, were you thinking like, man, I might go here? Like, were you thinking every time you went, you might go there, and it just changed?
I did. I mean, they're all great schools, and so
Yeah.
it's such a tough decision. But then, like when I got to Penn State for the last time, I was like, yeah, this is the school. Like this is the one. And I felt like
Bro,
felt like
that's
my
such a cool story.
That's awesome.
What was it like watching Penn State make the run this year?
Oh, it was so special. I mean, I think
Yeah.
this year they're due for another big year. And I think my first game was the Illinois game, and that was super cool to watch being at their stadium. And then I came back for the SMU game, and then I supported them when they came out to Arizona. I drove out here, watched them play Boise State. And I think they were just a couple plays away from being the best team in the country and winning that national championship. And I think having Drew come back and having their whole entire O-line, both their running backs, everybody coming back, it's gonna be a good year for them.
Dude, and they brought in a brand new top defensive coordinator in the country. Like the team is just stacked. Bro, I can't personally wait to come up, I guess, come up to Penn State and watch you, bro. It's gonna be such an amazing 4 seasons, and we're hyped. Man, thank you so much for taking the time tonight. We really appreciate it. Everyone go follow Troy on Instagram, all his social media, man. Thank you so much.
Of course, thank you for having me.
Of course.